Hi, this is the voice of Heidie Calero with a review of the first 6 months of calendar year 2022. We are going to do this presentation different from other capsules wherein we show and depict graphs. This time I'm using the covers of the principal newspaper in Puerto Rico as well as of the Economist. Let's start with the first one. Remember, this is at 20,000 feet up in the air. What has been happening in these first 6 months? And the first cover that I have here is from the January of 2022, where the headline says, "This is the agenda for Puerto Rico in 2022. We are concerned about infrastructure. We are concerned about government. We are concerned about restructuring the public debt." All that in terms of a new year and where is economic growth. So a lot of challenges moving ahead with a lot of hope for 2022. Well, finally, at the end of January, Judge Taylor Swain has indicated in the second cover of the paper that finally she approves the restructuring debt plan for the GOs in Puerto Rico and other principal debt. So that debt service will start being paid now in fiscal year 2023, which starts as of July 1st of this calendar year. The third cover that I'm showing here is a criticism, a hard criticism by Andrew Biggs, one of the members of the Oversight Fiscal Board, that says that Puerto Rico's government has not been very effective, be it in its public administration. It really doesn't have, has not propelled the economic growth in the economy, and that even after this restructuring of debt, there is a lack of political will. So a very hard criticism in a forum in Harvard University. I understand that many of us do agree with that hard criticism. The next one is the cover of The Economist, where it shows this Russia roulette with the invasion of Ukraine, which has really propelled the world in the global economy in terms of a tailspin with high oil prices, high inflation all over the world, food prices going skyrocket, even scarcity of food because Ukraine is a basket for the world in terms of wheat, in terms of fertilizers and other products, as well as all other minerals. And Russia is a world power in terms of oil. So that conflict has really been spinning up, and it's already talked that there could be stagflation in the US. The World Bank has already reduced economic growth on a global scale from 4.5, which had maybe at the end of last year forecasted for 2022. Now it's down to 3.1. And for them, 2.5% is already recession level. So we are close to that point. The next one is all of this conflict of Russia-Ukraine has really ended up in this high cost of living. Inflation is just out of bounds. In the States, it's about 8.3% as of April of 2022, and in Puerto Rico is about 6%. So very close, and it continues to skyrocket, especially with the price of gasoline. The next cover is from the Economist, the coming food catastrophe. Already there are shortages. Already there are some foods that are being scarce. Even the formula for babies, there is a scarcity for some of these products, as well as of other products which are essential for the average family in terms of consumption. So food prices are just going up to the roof, and we don't see any relief anyway nearby. The next cover is again from The Economist. The Fed, has the Federal Reserve, failed? Now, there were many criticisms that because of all these stimulus, that there would be a lot of demand after the restrictions of COVID would be unhinged. And now you are seeing with all these chain distributions, at disruptions that are globally, and with the conflict Russia-Ukraine, you are seeing that now the Fed says, hey, enough is enough. We really have to halt inflation in the United States, and interest rates have already started to gain traction, but there's criticism that maybe the Fed has failed. The next one is, how high will interest rates go? Well, I think they're going on a very tightrope. If interest rates go too much, escalate very fast, we could end up in a recession. And there's already talk about stagflation, high prices with a recession. So the next cover that we see here is from the local newspaper. And again, it talks about Puerto Rico in terms of this reconstruction of its infrastructure in terms of energy for electricity. And we have not done that enough yet. It requires a lot of monies that with federal monies, it can be done. But we really need to focus on execution, and especially moving away from fossil fuels into new, either solar energy, and above all, why not consider nuclear power as it is in Germany and in other countries. The power play, which is illustrated here with the next cover of The Economist, just says this is the new age of energy and industry. Many of these oil companies are making profits. Remember, there are 4 to 5 years, if not more, that they have not been making a lot of money because the price of oil went so down. There was not enough drilling. Now there could be some interest, but it's still difficult to say where will it end. And the next one is, again, for Puerto Rico, another reform which is badly needed, which is tax reform. We still don't know what is the outline of this new tax reform, but one of the important elements for the general fund is Law 154. And the next cover says that Treasury, Puerto Rico Treasury, has come to an agreement with IRS in terms of this Law 154. We still don't know what has been finally agreed to. We are still waiting to see, and that represents almost $2 billion, which Puerto Rico Treasury has to find where is it going. How are they going to renegotiate with these companies? The next cover is our infrastructure in terms of highways. A hard road ahead. That's what this cover is saying, because tolls are going to continue increasing, and in terms of money to really fix our roads, they are difficult, they're slow to come by, so the road ahead is going to be still difficult for Puerto Rico. The next one is government reform. One of the stepping stones against that the PROMESA board, the Oversight Fiscal Board, has indicated that Puerto Rico has to undertake. Well, it says that they're going to do a pilot project to render justice, to make justice for the public servants. Well, my friends, I think that we really need to revisit this. This is not only to make justice to these public servants, you need to do justice with us taxpayers that are paying so much money and we're not getting value for these services. Finally, to sum up this review of the first 6 months of the year, we are at the stage of a new geopolitical power where Russia and China really represent new rules in this global world, and we still don't know how the outcome of this Russia-Ukraine war is going to enter, but friendship between these two states may have no limits, and we have to wait and see what will that entail for Puerto Rico and for the world in general terms. And finally, this headline, which is the resignation of the executive director of the PROMESA Oversight Board, says we need to finish what we have started. And yes, I agree. We need to finish what has been started or what has not yet been started. All these structural reforms. But above all, we really need execution and an economic plan, which is not just something marketing as of the purpose of Puerto Rico, which in Spanish plays with PR, propósito. We need more than that, not just a marketing gimmick. Anyway, we will talk about that in the next capsule. Until then, don't forget to give us a like in the voice of Heidie Calero, and to remember that the economy is all of us. Thank you.